Coming up on this week's edition of your UI7 Newsbreak, a message from U of I President Tim Killeen says the university is not a sanctuary for undocumented students.
Plus, a conversation from the Champaign City Council focuses on business inclusion in the area.
And finally, a woman in Champaign-Urbana is giving back to others in a big way this holiday season.
Your UI7 Newsbreak starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, this is your UI7 Newsbreak.
Hello and welcome to your UI7 Newsbreak. I'm Zach Caparelli.
And I'm Rachel Anosi.
University of Illinois President Tim Killeen released a statement yesterday declaring that U of I will not act as a sanctuary for undocumented students.
The message comes after students have been pressuring college campuses across the country in the wake of the November election.
The mass mail says the university cannot hide undocumented students, but it will do its best to protect the students within the confines of the law.
Field reporter Aaliyah Gibson is on campus talking to a U of I student about this issue.
Hi, I'm here right now at the Union speaking to students, addressing a recent email sent out by President Tim Killeen talking about the university being used as safe sanctuaries for undocumented immigrant students here on campus. I'm here right now talking with a student, and she has some things to say about the issue right now. So can you tell me exactly how this issue will impact or has impacted the university?
I feel like this issue has impacted the university in many ways. One of my friends recently, she locked herself in her room like for maybe 2-3 days and just wouldn't come out or talk to anyone just because she was so devastated. And just like about hearing about like the election and the results, like that's what had her staying in her room that long. She was just devastated and worried like for her family, her friends, and just people who go to this university should feel safe. And I know that the university said that they would continue to protect students, and that's great, but I feel like publicly announcing that it would be a sanctuary would just cause a lot of political uproar, so I'd understand that decision for them not to be a sanctuary, but at the same time, like just knowing how many people that have been hurt by this, it's just unbelievable.
Well, as you can see, this issue is strongly impacting students on campus, and I guess we'll just stay around and see what's going on and how people really feel around here. Back to you.
The city of Champaign is working to make its businesses more inclusive. UI7 Newsbreak's Michaela Johnson takes us to a recent city council meeting where this topic was discussed.
Roy spoke in front of the council members with Deputy City Manager Matthew Rochley for the final topic of the night's meeting, working to improve the inclusion of minority and women-run businesses more in Champaign. Roy has been working on this project for a while and shares why it is so important.
Inclusion is important. I mean, that's a national effort to ensure that there is inclusion as it relates to minority-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and local firms. So that's part of the city's commitment.
Roy spoke to the council about existing problems within their efforts and offered suggestions on how they can improve business inclusion in Champaign. Business inclusion is defined by a good faith effort. One of Roy's solutions was accurately defining this description. Another solution was increasing the use of software they already have in place to track data on inclusion efforts. Audience members were welcome to address the council and share their opinions.
If you feel passionate about this topic or any others in your local Champaign area, feel free to stop by any Champaign City Council meeting. They're all open to the public, and if you're willing to speak, they give you 5 quick tips on how you can address the City Council.
Council members were then able to ask Roy and the audience members who participated questions. The council had asked about the increase of software use. Roy informed them that in correctly using the software to its full potential, they can track inclusion efforts and receive data in real time. Head of the council, Mayor Finan, shares how you can get involved in the issue.
We'll be talking about it again. Staff will bring back some recommendations on proposed changes, and that'd be a great opportunity for people to read the study session agendas and come to the meeting.
Every council member voted yes at the end of the discussion. This means that another council study session will dedicate time to the topic in the future. In Champaign, Michaela Johnson, UI7 Newsbreak.
The University of Illinois held a Freedom Forum to discuss how race relations are affecting life on campus. One attendee hopes the discussion can make a difference in how some races are treated in the community. The room was full when faculty, students, and community members gathered to openly discuss what race means on campus. Students and UIUC Chancellor Robert Jones questioned how the future of the university could help those seeking change. A few of the talking points were racial inequality in the classroom and moments of discrimination. University grounds worker Adrian Flowers listened in on the panelist. He says seeing actions of hate is nothing new to him.
I came in to the area that I clock in and clock out at. It was a guy with a noose. He had made it, and he was just swinging around his hand.
Attendees believe the university is becoming a more inclusive place for those who feel mistreated. Some believe this conversation was a big step in the right direction.
Social issues like this can have a more personal impact on members of the community. UI7 Newsbreak's Daniel Baker shares the story of a student who has struggled to find her safe space on campus.
Samantha Yadrin, a history major who will graduate from U of I in December, said she faced some hardships.
I love this university. It has given me a lot and has helped me grow in a lot of ways, but the community in many ways is not entirely welcoming, not only to women, but to people of color.
In fact, she said men often treated her badly.
And they try to dance with you without even asking what your name is, and they touch you without permission. So there's that, and then just walking down the street. I mean, I've been catcalled probably twice to, 3 times a week.
Even for many prominent alumni, it's not always academics that shapes who you are. Peggy Flavin, a fellow climbing club board member and friend of Samantha's, said her time serving in climbing club has helped her grow into a leader.
We've gone on some trips this summer. Actually, we went out west and did some alpine climbing. So I guess I would trust Sam with my life, which is a pretty good identity trait in someone. And yeah, it's kind of really grown into her strengths as a climber, as a person. Her strengths are really making everyone else happier. She's very empathetic.
Yadrin says a career in history has helped her tell other people's stories while also bringing her one step closer to independence.
Every different experience gave me a new insight into who I was and further shaped me. So I think it's just kind of finding what makes you happiest.
Yadrin says after she graduates, she will go to Norway and then graduate school for environmental and science journalism. In Champaign, Daniel Baker, UI7 Newsbreak.
After receiving their diploma, many alumni will be leaving the campus. Some students are working on a tool to attract new minds to fill their place. A team of 8 university students developed a virtual reality tour of UIUC. It took 6 weeks and 7 GoPro cameras to make this 8-minute tour. It features a 360-degree shot of the alma mater statue, Memorial Stadium, and the Japan House. The students' hard work is paying off. Illinois Admission shared the video on its Facebook page before the December 1st priority application deadline.
A doctoral student at U of I is trying to connect with others through music. This one-man steel band hopes to spread his influence throughout the area. Daniel Edwards is a musician from Utah. He played his first steel drum over 6 years ago, and he has not put it down since.
At first, I wasn't really into it. I saw these people kind of jumping up for joy, and I thought, man, these guys are so naive. But then I really got into the music, and I fell in love with it.
Edwards is trying to bridge the gap between people and this form of art. He wants to show others in the community how music can also inspire them. You can see Edwards performing live at the Crayon Art Center on February 15th.
From foot tapping to knee slapping, Champaign-Urbana comedy is finding new ways to attract a crowd. 2 brothers are working together to expand the area's comedy scene. The comedy show, A Chicken Shtick, featured 2 members that stood out from the rest of the lineup. Jesse and Justin Tuttle are the twin brothers behind Champaign-Urbana comedy. They host various shows throughout the week, including open mics where visitors can perform or come to watch. The Tuttle twins have their family to thank for giving them this sense of humor.
If you threw in a zinger, everyone was suddenly listening. So I think that's when it kind of started.
Yeah, in our family, you almost had to be funny to have people kind of listen to you. Like, that's pretty much all they did. They just made fun of each other. So it was, you'd have to jump in. Yeah. They all had really good timing for people who had never done comedy before.
The Tuttle twins will be hosting their next open mic this Thursday at the Clark Bar in Champaign.
When we return from break, find out how one member of the community is giving back to others this holiday season.
Then we'll show you how a young girl is making her holiday wishes come true.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Students on campus are already taking part in holiday celebrations. The university's Polish Club gathered this week for an early Christmas Eve dinner. Vigila is a 12-course Polish dinner that begins when the first star is seen on Christmas Eve. The eating starts with a soup-like dish and ends with some delicious desserts. Many of the students' parents travel to campus with Polish ingredients that can only be purchased in the Polish districts of Chicago. It is a tradition to leave one seat open at Vigila in case a traveler, family member, or stranger needs a place to eat.
A local Champaign man has his own way of celebrating the holidays, and his efforts are inspired by the life of his wife. Johnny Namoff sells furniture during the day, but at night he's the founder of Jennifer's Gifts from Above. This is an annual Christmas party that collects toys for needy children in the area. Namoff started the foundation 1 year after his wife Jennifer passed away.
A benefit. It's a party for just people to come and enjoy the Christmas spirit and bring a toy for a kid. We do have
Namoff started the party 4 years ago with 30 guests, and this year he's expecting over 200 guests.
The gift giving continued at this year's Operation Warrior Watch. Visitors helped prepare holiday packages for troops who are away from home. Looking out for those who are looking out for us is the motto of Operation Warrior Watch. Veterans and their families gathered to lift the spirits of those servicemen and women who are overseas for the holidays. Jared Chambers served 5 years in the Marine Corps. He has helped prepare gifts at this event since 2012.
For guys like my little brother that are deployed right now, aren't going to be home, they weren't home for Thanksgiving, aren't going to be home for Christmas. They're 5,000 miles away from home, away from their families right now. And all of this is all just a little piece of home for these guys.
A variety of goods were shipped away, including some fresh from the oven. Visitors were also encouraged to write letters reminding soldiers they are not forgotten. Operation Warrior Watch added 50 more soldiers to the mailing list this year.
Another gift drive is helping kids complete their shopping this holiday season. UI7 Newsbreak's Lola Garcia shares the story of this smart spender.
7-year-old Anna's hobbies aren't only dancing and playing the cello. She enjoys Christmas shopping for her whole family in a meaningful yet cost-effective way. This is Anna's first year attending Crisis Nursery's Children's Holiday Shop. With the help of a volunteer that is in the College of LAS at U of I, she was able to afford purchasing gifts for her whole family that range from $2 to $8.
I told her how much they cost, and she put them on the list, and then I asked her some questions, and instead of ignoring me, she just answered my questions, and she helped me agree on what I wanted for them.
Volunteers help kids select their gifts by filling out a holiday shop gift list. Kids were given a list where they could write their name, their age, the amount of money they were going to spend, and who they wanted to buy a gift for. They even had an option where if they didn't spend the amount of money they said they would, they could donate the rest to Crisis Nursery. Her mother, Ruth Wyman, mentioned that it is important for their family to support Crisis Nursery and get Anna more involved in the community.
Well, we think it's important for Anna to learn, just to be, to learn a lot of things, and when they're young they can learn so much. And so she takes cello classes and she takes ballet, and she enjoys those, and she obviously enjoys shopping as well. And so when it can be coordinated with supporting a good organization, that's always a good thing.
After selecting her gifts, it was time to wrap them and label each present. Not only was Anna able to get meaningful presents for her whole family, but she gained the knowledge of smart spending. She plans to return to this event next year.
There's so many things that they would like.
In Champaign, Lola Garcia, UI7 Newsbreak.
The holiday season is bringing in some cold winter weather this week.
We'll come back with your forecast and more after the break.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else?
Or will you dare do something different?
Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts?
Yes, you.
You could be the teacher I never forget.
That'd be cool.
Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Don't worry, 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas in Champaign-Urbana.
With the season's first snowfall officially behind us, some students at the university got their first glance at winter. Sunday's snowfall was the first of the season for Champaign-Urbana. Only about 1 inch of snow fell, but in total more it is a sign of more to come this winter.
For a closer look at the weather, here's Emma Poole with more on what we can expect for the rest of the week.
Hello, Champaign-Urbana. Winter is definitely coming. It's pretty cold outside, so be sure to bundle up. Looking at our local temperatures, 29 degrees in Champaign, Danville, and Charleston. 27 degrees in Peoria, 30 in Springfield, 29 in Decatur, and 27 in Bloomington. Looking at the Midwest temperatures, 25 degrees in my home city, Chicago, getting a little warmer as we go down south, and 32 degrees in both St. Louis and Paducah. You can see also 30 degrees in Kansas City, 18 a little cooler in Des Moines, and 17 in Cedar Rapids. Looking at national temperatures, 64 degrees in LA, 65 in Phoenix. You can see 57 in Dallas. It's going to be a nice 80 degrees warm weather in Miami. Boy, would I love to be there. And then in the 40s in Cleveland, New York, and Boston. Tonight, it's going to be pretty cool and cloudy, 36 degrees with winds coming at about 9 miles per hour. So just be prepared for that. Looking ahead at tomorrow's weather. Tomorrow it's going to be nice, sunny, partly cloudy, 26 degrees with winds coming at about 15 miles per hour, so not too bad. Looking at our 5-day forecast, finishing out the rest of the week, 26 degrees on Thursday, 27 on Friday, 34 on Saturday, so getting a little warmer towards the weekend. However, on Sunday, you're going to see a little bit of snow at 36 degrees, dipping pretty cool in the evening at 17 degrees, and then starting off next week with Monday, starting at 33 degrees and 23 in the evening.
It is getting a lot colder, you guys, but I wouldn't whip out the winter parkas just yet.
Thank you, Emma.
Now turning over to Peter Bailey-Wells with our sports update.
Coming up in this week's sports segment, we'll review last night's 85-77 Illinois men's basketball victory over IUPUI and preview tonight's women's hoops trip to South Dakota. Plus, we get a look inside the State Farm Center and how the Orange Crush student section is benefiting from the arena's recent renovations.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it,
like it never happened.
B, work with what you got. Or C, show solidarity.
Thank you, babe.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. You know, but it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, you know, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
While most Illinois students were deep in finals preparation Tuesday night, the Illini men's basketball team was battling the Jaguars of IUPUI at State Farm Center. Illinois pulled out an 85-77 victory over the visitors, in large part due to 32 points from Malcolm Hill. The senior managed 23 second-half points, including 10 straight late in the game, to put the Illini up for good. Hill was helped by 16 points and 9 rebounds from forward LaRon Black, who is now second on the team to Hill in scoring and lead John Gross's squad in rebounding. Here's a look at your stat leaders from Tuesday. Following the win, the Illini are riding a 3-game winning streak and sit at 7-3. They're back at State Farm Center Saturday afternoon against the Central Michigan Chippewas in the final home game of the team's non-conference schedule. After 2 years, the State Farm Center's $170 million renovation is complete. UI7 Newsbreak Zach Caparelli finds out how the stadium's new look is crushing expectations.
The University of Illinois' men's basketball team can finally return to a completed State Farm Center. But they aren't the only ones who are excited.
Put your shirt on!
The Orange Crush Spirit section is excited too. Maybe even more than the players. Lauren Mraz, the president of Illini Pride and Orange Crush, has high hopes for the Spirit section's first year back in the completed center.
We're really excited about everything in general coming together because we used to be promoting like this is what's coming in the future, like this is what we have coming up, be a part of it before we get that, and now it's this is what we have going on, get excited and come check it out. Let's go, Tracy!
One of the newest additions to the State Farm Center is the Orange Crush Club. Here, members that have an orange sticker on their card in Orange Crush can come and have food and hang out with their friends before the game.
For some of our new members who might not have bought or raised money to be in the top level, it's nice for them to see like what they can be, and it's a nice, instead of just hearing about it, it's a nice incentive for them to come back next year.
Becky Langford is a senior who's been in Crush all 4 years. She thinks the amount of seating the renovations have brought is a huge boost for members.
Before there was kind of like people would be hidden in the bleachers, but now everyone's got their own seat, and like there's no problems with people not fitting in the bowl, and we can make a lot more noise now.
We're so loud and energetic throughout the entire game, and we get so excited, and the best part I think is everybody here is really into the game.
With 10 home games left in the regular season, the men's basketball team and Orange Crush hope to keep the positive energy flowing throughout the State Farm Center. In Champaign, Zach Caparelli, UI7 Newsbreak.
We turn now to the Illinois women's basketball team, which heads to Vermillion, South Dakota tonight to take on the South Dakota Coyotes. The Illini are coming off a 72-56 loss on Sunday at George Washington. The Orange and Blue faced South Dakota last season, losing at State Farm Center 85-76. Coyotes won last year's NIT women's tournament with a record of 32-6. Illinois has 5 games left until Big Ten play, where Matt Ballant's squad went 2-16 during conference play last season, worst in the conference. Coyotes and the Illini tip off at 6 o'clock from the Sanford Coyote Sports Center. Now we go from the court to the track, where the Illinois women's indoor team began its season this weekend and got off on the right foot. The Illini started their season with a win, defeating the Huskies of Northern Illinois 67.5 to 50.5. Candy Block-Jones won the high jump competition, clearing 1.67 meters. Brianna Driver was able to secure first place in the long jump, and sophomore Jayla Stewart had a dominant day, winning both the 60-meter dash and the 60-meter hurdles. Coach Ron Garner was happy with what he and his coaches saw from the team.
Try to keep it pretty simple. Our objectives are pretty defined, and we're just trying to assess what we've done as coaches. It's not just on the athlete. In track, you don't really have scrimmages. They're not live. Sometimes some really great things happen that aren't counted in an inter-squad or a scrimmage.
News has surrounded the women's track and field team outside the competition. Changes to the program structure are looming on the horizon. Changes go into effect this summer, when the men's and women's indoor track, outdoor track, and cross-country teams will be under the same coaching staff. Current men's track coach Mike Turk will lead the crew. The men's and women's teams have both seen success over the years. The men have brought home 49 Big Ten championships and 5 national titles combined between indoor and outdoor track. The women's program has secured 7 Big Ten championships and 1 national title. The year Turk was named Illinois' head coach, the Illini were last in the Big Ten. And since then, he's brought the team to 4 Big Ten runner-up finishes in the 2015 Outdoor Big Ten Championship. That's all I have for sports. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Peter, for that update.
Finally, in this week's See You Neighbor, one local woman is getting others in the holiday spirit, but her impact goes beyond only helping people in the Champaign-Urbana community.
A holiday wonderland in Urbana is bringing people of all ages together. Local Roberta Morris uses her Department 56 collection from the past 20 years to create a Christmas Village display.
I just want everybody to come out and see this. It's kind of a one-of-a-kind thing, but it sparks a lot of creativity.
The one-of-a-kind display shows a wide range of villages, like a variety of well-known restaurants. This is the largest Christmas Village display in the Midwest, with over 500 different Department 56 houses and accessories. Kids can create a village of their own using pieces from Morris's collection. The display also presents an opportunity to give back. All donations will go toward the American Cancer Society.
Cancer has touched my life in many ways. My sister and my mother are both breast cancer survivors, so we were very involved with some of the dinners and some of the activities, Relay for Life teams. So that's where we met Jill, and it just became very important that we give back.
This is the 3rd year Morris and Jill Ranabarger, a volunteer for American Cancer Society, have done this event. Ranabarger knows just how much time goes into its creation.
We just encourage more and more people to come and view the village because of she spent 150, 200 hours, and it's just phenomenal.
However, the long hours are well worth it for Morris.
When you can help a family in need, it just makes you feel amazing.
The Holiday Wonderland will be open to view on various dates until Christmas Eve.
Wow, that really got me in the holiday spirit.
I know. I loved seeing all those houses. My favorite part was definitely the ones with the restaurants. I mean, there was a Mexican restaurant, McDonald's, Starbucks, of course. So I loved it. It was great.
You know, my grandma had one of those little town displays when I was a kid, but not anything as elaborate as that. Just like a little house in a church and little people that could go around, but I wasn't allowed to play with them,
Yeah,
of course.
they're very fragile.
They are very fragile.
It'd be nice if we could build a miniature-sized set of this studio, get ourselves
Oh, that would
in there.
be cool.
You could customize your personal figures.
A
Wouldn't that
little
be
news
nice?
desk and then little
Yeah.
figures of all of us, like,
Anchoring.
at the desk.
Yeah, it would be a nice addition for sure. So,
Well, and the other thing is you couldn't just do it for the holidays. You could do it for all times of year.
Oh.
I mean, I imagine that would put in a lot of work.
But we could have it set up all year.
Yeah.
If it was,
we could
the
change it with the
UI7.
holiday season as well.
We could add it up.
There you go.
Exactly.
That's going to wrap up this edition of your UI7 News Break.
Thanks for tuning in all semester long, and a special thank you to our instructor Ken Erdy and our student director Zach Berletsky. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter at UI7 Newsbreak for the latest news. We will see you next semester.